One person who's been arguing for intervention almost since the civil war began in Syria is Senator John McCain, and he may finally be getting his wish, or at least part of it. The senator joins me now, and Senator McCain, the White House makes clear that the U.S. will start providing military assistance to the rebels. Presumably that means weapons. So what weapons are you comfortable giving the rebels there, and are there any weapons you are not comfortable giving them?
I am comfortable with giving them whatever the weapons they need to defend themselves against the onslaught of Russian weapons of the most sophisticated kind, Iranian weapons, and the kinds of unequal battlefield that we're in today. And I am absolutely convinced that we need to have heavy weapons, both anti-tank and anti-air. And finally, could I say, unless we take out Bashar Assad's air assets and establish a safe zone, it will not change the favorable conditions on the battlefield for Bashar Assad.
Let me ask you frankly, are the rebels losing right now?
Absolutely. There's no doubt about it. I received a call from General Idris a few nights ago that portrayed the situation in Qusayr as dire, and obviously it's fallen. Next is Aleppo. They're using their air assets to fly men and equipment in and then surround the city, and the bloodletting and the massacre goes on, much to our shame.
So will this be enough to turn the tide, the weapons that will be going in now?
It will not. We have to establish a safe zone, move the Patriots missile batteries close, take out with cruise missiles their air assets and logistics on the ground, and establish that safe zone. Then we can change the equation on the ground, not before.
Well, the safe zone, Senator, doesn't appear to be happening. The White House makes clear that they certainly don't want, they are not seeking a no-fly zone there. So then why do this limited amount to begin with?
Well, I think that's a legitimate question. It may help prevent some of the slaughter that's going on, but as far as changing things dramatically, I'm afraid that it won't. And I think we have to gauge, in many respects, what will succeed and what won't, and the consequences of us doing nothing, which have obviously been very detrimental to United States national security interest over the last couple of years.
One of the reasons for doing this now, the White House says, is because Syria crossed the red line on chemical weapons. They have proof, the White House says, of the use of sarin gas. Now, Politico has an interesting article today quoting an Obama administration official who says this, who says, would we have made the determination Assad had breached the red line even if we didn't have the evidence? Probably, says this administration official in Politico. So was the red line really sarin gas here, or was it the facts on the ground? Was it the fact that the rebels seem to be losing ground there?
Well, I think it's more than coincidental that those two events coincided, but the French and others had already concluded that he's using the sarin gas in small quantities. But again, this is the red line, and we allege that it killed between 100 and 150 people. 93,000 have been massacred as we have stood by and watched, and the casualty numbers continue to go up. It's disgraceful.
You said it's more than coincidental that we're declaring the use of chemical weapons at the same time we're deciding to arm the rebels there. Are you suggesting somehow that politics are at play here, domestic politics?
No, I think that they're beginning to realize in the White House that their predictions that Assad would fall, the president's statement saying Assad must go, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff and the then Secretary of Defense testifying before Congress, it is inevitable that Bashar Assad will fall. No one believes that now under the current conditions. And the effect on the Middle East of a Bashar Assad success is incalculable. It's already turning into a regional conflict, and they're beginning to realize that that is the fact too. Jordan, Lebanon being destabilized. The effects of an Assad victory on the view of countries in the region about the power and influence of Iran are incalculable.
There seems to be a lot of schisms within the rebel community there, different rebel groups. Some
Actually,
fight
that's
for certain
not true.
things. You think they're united? You think that none of these weapons will end up in the hands of people who some people consider extremists?
Well, I think some of them might, and I think that's a risk we take. But I think if we have a safe zone and move the opposition counsel in there and have them coordinate with the military, and they can much easier get the weapons to the right people and use it effectively. Look, this is a mess. You and I haven't even discussed the chemical weapons caches, but to do nothing is the worst of all options in my view. It's going to be very, very difficult, much more difficult than it would have been 2 years ago. And I'm not saying it's easy, but I'm saying the status quo is the worst of all options.
Senator John McCain, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on.